Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Naram Namaskritya Naram Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Diri Nashtaprayam Shavadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 2, contents of the Gita summarized, text 18 onwards. Antvanti me deha nityasya yukta sharirina anashino prameyasya tasmad yudhyasva bharata. So Krishna is further giving knowledge on the soul and the body. What's the difference? The material body of the indestructible, immeasurable, and eternal living entity is sure to come to an end. Therefore, fight or descendant of Bharat. So, Antvant ime deha. So this body is gonna die. And Nityas yokta sharirna, that lives inside the body, that is eternal. So Prabhupada says the material body is perishable by nature. It may perish immediately or it may do so after 100 years. It's a question of time only. There is no chance of maintaining it indefinitely. But the spirit soul is so minute that it cannot even be seen by an enemy, to say nothing of being killed. As mentioned in the previous words, it's so small that no one can have any idea how to measure its dimension. That's like we discussed last time. Its dimension is given the 10,000th part of the tip of the hair. So small, so minute. So from both viewpoints, there is no cause of lamentation, because the living entity as he is cannot be killed, nor can the material body be saved for any length of time or permanently protected. And this is the program of the demons. When they say, I want to live in this body forever. Hiranyakashipu also wanted that. That's why he wanted. He asked Brahmaji for this benediction that I should not die. Brahmaji said, how can I give you this benediction? And I myself am going to die. Then Hiranyakashipu has roundabout benedictions, basically centered around that I shouldn't die. So he said, I should not be killed in this condition, that condition, inside the house, outside the house, on earth, in water, in air, anywhere. Nobody should be able to kill. But the Supreme Lord, he has to make sure the laws of nature remain intact. So he himself came and killed. And why we don't want to die? Because we see everything on the basis of this body. And if this body is gone, is finished, then how am I going to enjoy? Demons don't want to believe that there is next life. Because if there is next life, then whatever wrong I'm doing now, I have to suffer for it. I will have to get the reactions. And that is too much. I don't want to suffer. So somehow or other, they want to prolong their life in this body. Of course, when we are in this body, we have to maintain it, but we have to understand it is going to end at any time. So we should be, devotees program is, we should be prepared for that time, and we should be preparing afterwards also. What next? I should not get a body. That's a program. And the only way to not get the body, material body, is to go back to the spiritual world. So get a spiritual body from where nobody has to die ever again. But that can only be possible in the spiritual world. And spiritual world means all these demonic tendencies have to go away. Then and then only we can be eligible. But Arjun is thinking on the basis of the body, obviously, right now. And Krishna is saying, body is sure to come to an end. Everybody who is born is going to die. And further Prabhupada says, the minute particle of the whole spirit acquires this material body according to his work. And therefore, observance of religious principles should be utilized. In the Vedanta Sutras, the living entity is qualified as light because he is part and parcel of the supreme light. As sunlight maintains the entire universe, so the light of the soul maintains this material body. As soon as the spirit soul is out of this material body, the body begins to decompose. Therefore, it's a spirit soul which maintains this body. The body itself is unimportant. Arjuna was advised to fight and not sacrifice the cause of religion for material, bodily considerations. So body is important for us to do our activities. And activities depend whether it is religious, whether it's according to scriptures or against the scriptures, and we get the reactions accordingly. But whatever we do, it is going to, my body is going to be finished, or the soul is going to leave the body one day or the other. That's for sure. But we put so much of emphasis on this body, giving comfort to the body. If we just look around, just go to any market or mall and just sit and look at everybody. Okay, these days, yes, the crowd is coming back now in American malls. Just look at everybody is running around crazily. To do what? To serve the body. People are running around to make money, and make money to do what? To take care of the body, give comfort to the body, or give satisfaction to the mind. And people are shopping to do what? Again, to give comfort to the body. Boys and girls are hanging around, they think by having romantic affairs that will give me pleasure. And everybody is running around basically. Rickshawala is pulling the rickshaw, driver is driving cars or trucks to make money so that my body can be maintained. And this body is not permanent. And what is permanent, we don't even want to bother to listen to it, to care for it. It's just like if there is a bird in a cage, and if we just keep the cage very nicely polished and we put some gems on the cage and clean it every day very nicely, but don't feed the bird, what is the point? So the bird, the living thing inside this cage of the body is soul. Soul is most important. Because as soon as the soul is gone, no matter how much money we have spent on this body to maintain this body and all the organic food we had eaten and all the cosmetics we put on it and all the expensive clothes we buy for this body or expensive jewelry, it's waste, nothing. It's of no use. So this knowledge is so important. And that is why Krishna spent so much time, so many shlokas on giving this knowledge of the soul. This should be ingrained in our lives. So at least, even if we don't use it in our day-to-day life, it should be in our mind. I'm not this body. I'm a spirit soul. Then we can make progress spiritually, which is the goal of life. Otherwise, the goal of life is not to make billions and billions of dollars and then do what? Nothing. Die. Even the richest person, look at Steve Jobs, how he died. Very, very rich person. the CEO of Apple, how he died, how all the kings have died in the past, and how people are dying even right now. So because they don't know the real purpose of life, the real thing that matters. It's not the money or power or position or beauty or knowledge or the technical knowledge. It's none of these. These are good, okay, to live so we can make some contribution to the society. That's about it. Real contribution is ourselves making progress on this path and helping others to make progress. That is a real purpose, real contribution to the society. And this is what Krishna also says in the end, in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that those who give this message to others, they are most dear to me. Text 19. Ya enam veti hantaram yashanam manyate hatam bhavto na vijanito nayam hanti na hanyate. Neither he who thinks the living entity the slayer, nor he who thinks it slain is in knowledge. For the self slays not, nor is slain. Little poetic verse or the translation. When an embodied living entity is hurt by fatal weapons, it is to be known that the living entity within the body is not killed. The spirit soul is so small that it is impossible to kill him by any material weapon, as will be evident from the subsequent verses. Nor is the living entity killable because of his spiritual constitution. So if I think I'll be killed, the spirit soul, that's not possible. And if I think I can kill somebody, that's also not possible. Because spirit soul cannot be killed at all. What is killed or is supposed to be killed is the body only. This, however, does not at all encourage killing of the body. It doesn't mean we start killing whimsically. No. Then there are laws. Then at least laws of nature are there. We'll get punished. Even if the law of a country does not punish us, or somehow or other we just get away from it. But sooner or later we will get punished. The Vedic injunction is ma hinsyat sarva bhutani. Never commit violence to anyone. Nor does understanding that the living entity is not killed encourage animal slaughter. Killing the body of anyone without authority is abominable and is punishable by the law of the state as well as by the law of the land. Arjun, however, is being engaged in killing for the principle of religion and not whimsically. So just because, as Prabhupada is saying, we are not going to be killed or we don't die, doesn't mean we start killing bodies of others. It's not our in our jurisdiction. Soul has a certain time to stay in the body. That is destined by Yamraj. So if we disturb that process, then we will get punished. Simple as that. Nobody can run away from Yamraj and Yamdutas. No way. So many times people commit violence in the name of religion, or my scripture says this, my scripture says that. It's just common sense, common knowledge, not to do it at all. That's it. Unnecessarily killing. Just like Prabhupada has given example of, if a army man, he goes in the war zone and he kills the enemy soldiers. So when he comes back, he will get a medal for that. But the same man, he is in his city or village and he kills his neighbor over some argument, he will be punished. So act is the same of killing. But in first case, he's not killing for his own sake. He's not killing whimsically. He's killing because he has been ordered to do so, to protect his country or whatever. His superiors have given him the orders. But in second case, he killed for his own sake, for whatever reason. So killing is, Arjun also will kill after listening to the whole Bhagavad Gita. But then he did not kill for himself. Duryodhan is fighting or will fight for to get the kingdom. Arjun fought as a service to Krishna. Later on Krishna says, fight for me. Huge difference. Activity is the same. And Arjun killed more people than Duryodhan did. But Arjun is considered a pure devotee, and the Pandavas, they enjoyed the kingdom, but they remained on the path of religion. That's a difference. So killing, that's what Prabhupada is saying, killing the body of anyone without authority is abominable. Without authority. People sometimes say when they want to justify meat eating, oh, if we don't kill and eat chickens, they will run all over the earth and they'll just take over the whole earth. No, it's not going to happen. People in the poultry business, and they know how much artificially they're producing or they're increasing the population of chickens, making the hens give more and more eggs artificially so that more chickens are born and they can be raised so that they can be killed further. But that should stop. And if we don't stop, then nature takes care of it, like Corona, and killed so many people. And other diseases, mad cow disease or this disease, that disease, it will happen. So killing anybody. So sometimes people also argue, oh, plants also have lives. But there is a difference between plant life and animal life or human beings or fishes. And for us to subsist on something, to live, we have to eat something. And that for us, human beings, the plants and trees are being given, okay, you can eat those. Fruits or in cases of wheat or rice, we pull the whole plant out. But that has been authorized for human beings, not animals or fishes or birds. And one time somebody argued with Prabhupada that, oh, plants also have life, how can we kill plants? Prabhupada said, if you equate plants, if you think plants and animals are on the equal level, then plants and human beings should be also on the equal level. Life is life, so why don't you kill your own baby and eat it? And even among animals, people argue, oh, we can only eat cow or goat or chicken and this and that. Why not eat dogs? Only Chinese do that. We don't do that here. So they're all nonsense. Cannot kill and eat anybody. And even killing and eating plants, it's a sin to a very low degree, but it's still a sin if we don't offer it to Krishna first. But Krishna never asked for any meat or any eggs in his offering. So he says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. So Acharyas have explained further. Okay, this is what you can offer to Krishna, and then eat. Then there is no sin involved. In fact, it becomes prashadam, so we get uplifted spiritually by the same activity. But killing just completely, it's not required at all. Again, people have asked me questions on this one. What about the bugs in the house? Well, if like cockroaches in the kitchen, can we kill them? Otherwise, they'll create havoc, or we can get diseased. And on this, Prabhupada had once explained. Somebody asked it. So Prabhupada explained, if we are inviting somebody in your house and then killing him, is that a good idea? And they said, devotees said, well, we are not inviting cockroaches. Prabhupada said, if you don't keep the kitchen clean, they will come. If you keep it clean, they will not come. And also, there are ways to not kill the cockroaches and other bugs. There are ways to repel them. They just don't come near the kitchen. Mosquitoes, flies, there are ways to repel them. You don't have to kill them. And if we do, the reaction will be there, simple as that. There will be reaction. There is no reaction for the animals. If they kill any other animal or anybody, they don't get the reaction. Only human beings get the reaction. And on top of it, human beings in Bhuloka only. Above, below, nothing. They don't have karma. Only in Bhuloka. So we are the special chosen ones to get the reactions. Because we have an option to go up, down, remain the same at this place. Text 20. Very, very important words. Prabhupada quoted this verse many, many times. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita vanam bhuya ajo nitya shashvato ayam purano na hanyate hanumane sharire. For the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. Na jayate mriyate. It never is born, never dies. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. What does it mean? It means he is eternal. It's not at some point he manifests. No, it's eternal, always there, and will always remain to be so. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Although scriptures say we are part and parcel of Krishna, Krishna also says, Mamev Ansho Jiva Loke. He is my Ansha. But Ansha doesn't mean we were at any time within the body of Krishna. Eternal. What is the meaning of eternal? Eternal means always existing. Like we are in the different body, but we were always separate, individual. Very important thing to understand. It's not like we just appeared now. Our body, the body that we are in, yes, it appeared for whatever, 50, 60 years ago. And that body has already changed. We were in little baby's body, and then toddler, and then young boy, and now we are getting old. Different bodies. But the soul remains the same, and the same soul is there forever. Why Krishna chose to say it in a negative terms? There is neither birth nor death. He has not come into being, does not come, will not come into being. not slain, so many negatives. Actually, this is, if Krishna had just said, oh, he is eternal. Somebody, because so many scholars, so-called scholars are there, they try to argue, oh, maybe there was a time when he was not there. So this, when he says no, Krishna himself says not. He just takes out all arguments. He has not come into being. Means he's always there. He's unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. The oldest. Because soul does not die. Soul cannot be killed. Soul cannot take birth. Ajo Nitya Shashvato Ayam Purano. He's the oldest. It's like Krishna. Krishna is always there. We are always there. Problem is we change our bodies. Krishna does not change his body. That's why we forget things, and that's why we suffer also, because we are changing our bodies. Prabhupada says, qualitatively, the same atomic fragmental part of the Supreme Spirit is one with the Supreme. Qualitatively, we are same. He undergoes no changes like the body. He means the soul. Sometimes the soul is called the steady or kutastha. Steady, always remains the same. Ajo nitya shashvato ayam pranam. The body is subject to 6 kinds of transformations. It takes its birth from the womb of the mother's body, whichever way, whether it's animal or human being. It remains for some time, grows, produces some effects or byproducts, gradually dwindles, and at last vanishes into oblivion. So these are the 6 transformations of body. Anybody, everybody goes through these 6. Different speed, but everybody, whether it is Brahmaji, whether it is us, whether it is little bitty ant, or in the rainy season, we see so many these flies that come around the lights in India. We have seen street lights. We'll see so many flies around it in the rainy season. And in the morning, by the morning, they all die. So this is their 100 years, one night. That is for us. For them, it's 100 years. So they're born by the evening, they grow up, they produce byproducts, and then they gradually dwindle and vanish and die. They leave the body by the end of the day, night. Every night it happens. And then when I was in Detroit, first time there, and at night, in the morning, no, in the morning, we got up and saw the all the streets, grounds, house cover, roof of the homes, anything that was open. It was just full of creatures, small creatures. We were wondering what happened here. Something happened in the atmosphere. And then we called around and they said, because we were near the lake, they said these are called fish flies. So they just appear from the lake and they just cover all over the whole area of Detroit. And they're just there, and by the evening, they're all gonna die. That's it. That's their lifetime. And because they were all over the road, when you're driving on the road, you just feel like you're driving on some loose gravel and it's making the sound of ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. But we were driving on those fish flies and we were killing them actually. But there was no other option to do. And this is Krishna's creation. And there are like millions and millions of those. Millions and millions. They just die one day. That's it. That's their life. And we think we are the controllers. The soul, however, does not go through such changes. Soul is not born, but because it takes on a material body, the body takes its birth. The soul does not take birth there, and the soul does not die. Anything which has birth also has death. And because the soul has no birth, it therefore has no past, present, or future, because it is eternal. He is eternal, ever existing, and primeval. That is, there is no trace in history of his coming into being. Under the impression of the body, we seek the history of birth, etc., of the soul. But that's not possible. We get the birth certificate for the body, not for the soul. The soul does not at any time become old as a body does. The so-called old man therefore feels himself to be in the same spirit as in his childhood or youth. The changes of the body do not affect the soul. The changes of the body, because the soul is not getting old, our experiences have its impressions on our mind or intelligence. So we start acting in a different way when we grow old. But that doesn't mean the soul is grown old. It's just experience. The soul does not deteriorate like a tree, nor anything material. The soul has no byproduct either. There is no byproduct. So when father and mother come together, unite and have a baby, this does not mean they're producing a soul. When they unite together, and the semen, the soul takes shelter of the semen of the father and enters the womb and connects with the, not connect is not the right word, it takes shelter of the embryo or the egg of mother, and then that becomes the embryo and it starts growing in the body of the mother. Father is not the creator of the soul. Actually, father or men or even ladies, they don't even know how this reproduction happens inside the body. It's just, we've been given this body as a male body. We are here to, the body produces semen. Somehow from the blood, the semen is formed and then enters the female body in the egg and interacts with the egg, and then it takes shelter of that, and embryo is formed and this starts growing. Even mother doesn't know how it's happening. They're just being used as an instrument to give that soul a particular body. That's all. But it is so subtle, we don't see what is going on inside, what is happening. And we think we are the creator. We are not the creators. Krishna is the creator. Oh, Krishna himself also doesn't. He has so many energies. He tells them, okay, you all do all whatever stuff. So, proper further says, so byproducts of the body, namely children, are also different individual souls, and owing to the body, they appear as children of a particular man. The body develops because of the soul's presence, but the soul has neither offshoots nor change. Therefore, the soul is free from the 6 changes of the body. So the body develops according to his karma. The soul, the karma goes with the soul because the database is still there. So according to karma and his desire, the body is developed. And that's why sometimes we see when a baby is born, the baby has some defects in the body. Well, he didn't even do any karma so far. Where did he get the defect from? And it's coming from the previous lifetime. Sometimes you see some babies, when they're growing up, some babies are very happy baby. And some are very cranky because they have the impressions from the previous bodies, previous births. Sometimes some babies, they just get scared of something very easily. Well, the impression is there. Maybe some babies are suppose very scared of water. Maybe in the previous life he died because of drowning in the water. So he's afraid of water. Some babies are not afraid at all of water. So every soul has a different impression, which is called sanskar, coming from so many previous lifetimes. Some sanskaras or impressions are more prominent than others. And some sanskaras are more prominent now, but other sanskaras might become more prominent later. It is all designed or destined by our good friend Yamaraj or his workers, Chitragupta. They all are there. They're taking care of every single soul. So for this universe, this Yamaraj and his associates are there. Every universe, some kind of arrangement is there. Every single soul. Just imagine what kind of supercomputer they must be having to keep all the database of every soul and every activity that they have done and everything that they're going to do, go through in the future. It's all recorded. Of course, we can change it to a certain extent, but it's all recorded. Everything is recorded. So this is what Krishna will say towards the end. That's why in the last instruction is just sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja. Just surrender unto me. I'll take care of all the sinful reactions. Aham tvam sarva papepe. I'll relieve you of all sinful reactions. Do not worry. But otherwise, the soul, because of all these activities we have done, all the associations we have had, the impressions, the sanskaras are being generated. And of course, not on the soul, it's on the consciousness. Soul, we cannot do anything. That's what this chapter of Bhagavad Gita says. You cannot do anything to the soul. Soul is always pure. Okay, further Prabhupada says, in the Katha Upanishad, we also find a similar passage which reads, Na jayate mriyate va vipaschin nayam kutaschin na babhuva kaschit. The meaning and purport of this verse is the same as in the Bhagavad Gita. But here in this verse, there is one special word, vipaschit, which means learned or with knowledge. So he's always with knowledge. The soul is full of knowledge or full always with consciousness. So as we said, soul is part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna is made of Sat, Chit and Ananda. So soul is also Sat, Chit and Ananda. We are minute. Krishna is huge, infinite. We are minute, infinitesimal. But constitution is same. The soul is full of knowledge. Therefore, consciousness is a symptom of the soul. That's something to remember. Consciousness is a symptom of the soul. Even if one does not find the soul within the heart, where it is situated, one can still understand the presence of the soul simply by the presence of consciousness. So if the body is conscious, means the soul is there. Sometimes the body is in coma, but it is still conscious. Mind is still working. Body physically might not be able to react, but the mind is still conscious. So it means the soul is there. Sometimes we do not find the sun in the sky owing to the clouds or for some other reason, but the light of the sun is always there. And we are convinced that it is therefore daytime. As soon as there is a little light in the sky, early in the morning, we can understand that the sun is in the sky. Similarly, since there is some consciousness in all bodies, whether man or animal, we can understand the presence of the soul. So the soul is there. Sometimes people, because they want to eat meat, they say, oh, animals don't have souls. This is what they say in Christianity. Animals don't have soul. No, anything that is growing and that is producing byproducts, vanishing, it has soul. Actually, every atom has soul. If we read, if we analyze it properly, every atom has soul. Because the super soul is there, Paramatma is there, atom has to have soul. But it's so much of ignorance it cannot understand. So that is why, so every atom means then, although the table that we are sitting on or the chair we are sitting on, we think they are dead matter. No, they also have souls, but those atoms, those souls are in so much of ignorance right now. So that is why we have to see Krishna, Krishna's hands, Krishna's energies everywhere. So from the table, we should relate to how Krishna has kept all the souls there. Everything is his energy. So we have to respect everything. We should respect everything and everybody. If we see Krishna everywhere. This consciousness of the, no, sorry. Okay, so yeah, we can understand the presence of the soul. This consciousness of the soul is, however, different from the consciousness of the Supreme, because the Supreme Consciousness is all knowledge, past, present, and future. The consciousness of the individual soul is prone to be forgetful. When he is forgetful of his real nature, he obtains education and enlightenment from the superior lessons of Krishna. But Krishna is not like the forgetful soul. If so, Krishna's teachings of Bhagavad Gita would be useless. So when we forget our real nature, we have to get the education and enlightenment. But there is also one part that we have to understand, as Prabhupada also says, the soul is full of knowledge, Sat, Chit and Ananda. Chit means knowledge. So by studying scriptures or by going through all these spiritual activities, we're not getting new knowledge. We're not giving new knowledge to the soul. We're just removing the covering of ignorance. So the real knowledge just shines forth. That's all. Soul has all the knowledge. They're just covered over right now. Now it's all up to us how much effort we put in to remove the covering. Prabhupada further says, there are two kinds of souls, namely the minute particle soul, Anu Atma, and the super soul, Vibhu Atma. This is also confirmed in the Katha Upanishad. Both the super soul, Paramatma, and the atomic soul, Jivatma, are situated on the same tree of the body, within the same heart of the living being. And only one who has become free from all material desires as well as lamentations can, by the grace of the Supreme, understand the glories of the soul. Krishna is the fountainhead of the super soul also. So fountainhead means from him, his expansions are super soul or Paramatma, as it will be disclosed in the following chapters. And Arjun is the atomic soul, forgetful of his real nature. Therefore, he requires to be enlightened by Krishna or by his bona fide representative, the spiritual master. We just have forgotten because we've been covered over. The covering of ignorance in human beings, it is little less. In plants, it is, or in animals or birds, it is more, and in plants, it is even more covering of ignorance. So somehow or other, when we come in contact with the Lord or his bona fide representative, then this covering can start going away by their instructions, and we follow the instructions properly. And this example, this Katha Upanishad says, both the soul and super soul, they're situated on the same tree of the body. When it says tree, means the example is given of two birds sitting on the same branch of a tree of the body. Now, one bird is busy eating the fruits, and the other bird is simply sitting next to it, watching, waiting for him to turn his attention to the tree, to the bird. But the first bird is just busy eating the fruits. So the bird that is busy eating the fruits, that is the Atma, soul, eating the fruits of his reaction, of its karma. Whether the fruit is bitter or sweet, it just keeps on eating. It doesn't even give attention to the Paramatma that is sitting right next to him in the heart. And Paramatma is watching, Paramatma is sanctioning whatever he wants, the desires, whether what to some extent, whatever extent the desires can be fulfilled, and is witnessing all the activities, all the thoughts of the soul. And waiting for what? To turn his attention towards Paramatma so Paramatma can give him instructions further how to save himself. So quit eating all those fruits. Quit being with the busy with the reactions of our actions that we had done earlier. So I guess we can stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Prabhuji, I have a quick question. Does the soul go through pain?
Soul is made of Sat, Chit and Ananda. Ananda means bliss. The pain that we go through is through our mind. Oh, I'm suffering, or suppose in the operation, so somebody, a doctor cuts us up, they give us anesthesia so we don't feel the pain. The soul is not going through the pain. It is a body, and then the mind, and we think, because we think we have this body, so pains and pleasures of this body, we think that is me, that is mine, so we think we are undergoing pain. The soul has no suffering.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I guess we can stop here. You all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.